we're here at Cloudscape 16 in Brussels together with Mario Campolago, who is Director of the Internet of Things of the European Commission, but I'm sure he can tell that better himself. Welcome.
Nice to see you.
This is the Cloudscape conference in Brussels. And what are, from your point of view, the most important topics today in cloud computing?
I think that these important topics are also reflected in the topics that Cloudscape this year is addressing. Bringing this dimension of cloud and Internet of Things and data together is very interesting. When we talk today with the industry about cloud, it's inevitable that Internet of Things or data comes. And equally, when we talk to them about IoT or data, the cloud comes. So this intertwining of those three key words, that I personally see them as a real engine for the creation of a vibrant ecosystem of innovation, a digital ecosystem of innovation in Europe, is very interesting. It adds to that Europe is trying to create this notion of a digital single market. And there is a very powerful link between this policy and the technologies, if we can call cloud or IoT or big data technologies, very important intertwining, because they both benefit from each other. Mm-hmm. IoT needs a digital single market, otherwise you cannot plug and play, you cannot think about logistics crossing Europe, you cannot compare data from city in the Nordic countries and city in the southern countries, or to develop apps that cross borders. But at the same time, cloud will be an enabler from the digital single market. There is no digital single market if you don't have cloud technology that will allow us to bring data together, to promote data analytics, to promote data services to the society. So it's very powerful, this link. What I see is really that very interesting aspects that we have to address across those two domains. Think about liability, data liability, extremely important for IoT, extremely important for cloud. But portability of data, bringing the data that you have in one cloud provider to another cloud provider, this is basic for consumer protection. Obviously we have other regulations, other legal frameworks that have to do with the private data, with the personal data. But even when we talk about commercial endeavors, business to business, machine to machine, trust and security are absolutely important for all of these areas.
Yeah, this morning we heard, for instance, the example of Microsoft Azure, who's actually running on machines or systems from T-Mobile in Germany, so that they could better adhere to the laws of Germany. Yes. Is that kind of innovation or things that we should look for?
It's very interesting, because this brings exactly this combination of those two very powerful things. Do we always need to have the most stringent requirements? Maybe in some kind of applications you don't need. So it's very important that we look to the security or the trust or the privacy in the context of what is important. But Europe is known by the quality of its products, but is also known by very stringent requirements in terms of privacy, in terms of security. And so if we are able to make them very clear, then the international companies that operate in Europe can actually adopt these standards. And by adopting these high standards, then we get more confidence on the users. And that's a virtuous, positive cycle in my point of view.
Mm-hmm. So the Internet of Things is clearly not possible without all these regulations and cloud computing in general. Where do you see Internet of Things going, say, within the next year or two?
I think that
this will be booming, as people.
Well, this has been also said by some of the panelists today. I mean, we see it as an extremely dramatic future in terms of adoption. We can see it every day. I mean, and the appropriation that citizens and companies and businesses have of IoT in Europe is really amazing. Now, I alluded already to the aspects of liability, for example. They are very important. But what I think, there are other aspects that are very, very important. Standards, aspects of numbering, etc. Now, what I see, however, as the fantastic power of IoT is that it will actually destructure to a large extent the current business models. So, when you make data available, small startups can start offering through apps innovative services to the citizens, to the providers of energy, or to the consumers of energy, as an example. And this is extremely powerful. So this aspect that, new business models will be, imagined by the simple fact that IoT with sensors, with really data being produced with combination data that comes from sensors and from social networks, from the digitization of our processes, from e-government, this is fantastic and opens an immense opportunity for our youth to create new services. We need for that to have open platforms. It's very important. Open platforms create innovation ecosystems. Think about our cities. We want to make them smarter. But who knows better the cities than the youngsters that live in those cities that are in the university? The ones that going out of the university can then use the power of this data that is available to create new business models, to create startups that will then grow. And Cisco, Microsoft today also confirmed that this new ecosystem where we live is not anymore that one company provides it all, is that one company creates a large ecosystem of cooperating entities, and the power and the innovation will come from the more agile that will interact with each other. That's what we are looking for in Europe.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Thanks, Ed. It was a pleasure to meet you again. Thank you.